Speech. Here supporting Nathan today are his mom, Coonan Smith, and his dad, Mark Smith. Arriving in the middle of his second semester of his junior year, the backbone of Nathan's transition was quickly joining prep sports teams. After playing soccer the spring season of 2023, he developed close friendships throughout the school, playing football for the first time and joining the baseball team, a sport he hadn't participated in since his freshman year. Outside of prep, Nathan enjoys spending time with his family, golfing, and going to the gym. Today he wants to shed light on the topic of procrastination, one that has impacted his high school career significantly. Please welcome Nathan Smith to the stage.
Before I start my speech, I'd like to give thanks to my parents for giving me the opportunity to finish my high school education here at Prep. It's because of their constant support that has bettered me over the years and shaped me into the person I am today. I'd like to also give thanks to the senior class and the guys. I'm grateful for the friendships that we've created over the past year. I'm sure all of us are familiar with the term procrastination, so I interviewed 3 of the high school guys to get their definition of it. JT Gay said, when you got something to do but you put it off. Jack Butler said, when you have to work on your AP Euro project, you end up listening to too much R. Kelly. And then Heidi Young said, doing the opposite of what Hustlers University taught me. Whether it be cramming for a biology test or a school project, I'm sure all of us had to deal with procrastination throughout our high school career. It just doesn't apply to schoolwork. It can also be broadly defined as a self-defeating behavior marked by short-term benefits and long-term costs. There are many complications that arise from it, both physical and mental, such as the obvious ones like increased stress and sleep deprivation. It can even lead to irregular eating patterns and eating disorders. The focus of this speech is more so on what leads to procrastination, not the negatives that arise from it. An obvious reason why we procrastinate could be simply just having a lack of motivation/discipline to complete the task. Motivation serves as the driving force behind behavior, influencing the intensity and persistence of how we go about achieving our goals. So it comes as no surprise that individuals that lack this drive may often put off things that they need to do. Motivation can be categorized as either intrinsic or extrinsic. Intrinsic motivation is an internal drive for personal satisfaction, enjoyment, and benefit. Undertaking tasks that are in line with your values often provides intrinsic motivation. And extrinsic motivation is an external drive in which we provide gain to others, or in which we gain an external benefit, such as a job promotion. When individuals lack motivation, they may struggle to initiate tasks, leading to procrastination as a means of avoiding or delaying engagement with the task at hand. Additionally, procrastination can be a result of poor time management as well. Habits that can result in poor time management include difficulty in planning effectively a guideline to completing a task, underestimating the time requirements needed to complete a task, or simply using procrastination as a buffer response to stress. There are also a few psychological factors that can lead to procrastination, one of them being the preference of instant over delayed gratification. This clip from a TED Talk in 2016 by Tim Urban sheds light on this. We often seek immediate pleasure or entertainment instead of focusing on tasks with long-term benefits. This tendency leads us to prioritize short-term enjoyment over more substantial achievements. For instance, opting for a quick distraction, like scrolling through TikTok, feels more appealing in the moment than working on a paper that promises academic success in the future. The instant pleasure gained from procrastination reinforces the habit, making it difficult to break away and complete important tasks. The limbic system is a powerful component of the brain, and it prioritizes desires, pleasures, and rewards. It's responsible for producing cortisol in response to stress, and dopamine when we feel pleasure, and it's also responsible for most automatic responses. It triggers responses like fight or flight, and it's also closely linked to the prefrontal cortex, which is a lesser developed part of the brain, and is responsible for complex behaviors such as personality expression and decision making. The prefrontal cortex can be described as part of the brain that distinguishes humans from animals, as it allows for planning and decision-making beyond simple stimulus-response reactions. Due to the limbic system being a more dominant part of the brain, it often leads to procrastination. Procrastination, in essence, can be viewed as a conflict between our present desires and our future goals. When this conflict wanes and frequent exposure to instant gratification occurs, it becomes the root cause of most addictive behaviors. Charlotte Liderman from the New York Times says the term procrastination originates from the Latin word procrastinare, meaning to postpone until the next day. However, its concept extends beyond mere voluntary delay. It also stems from the ancient Greek term akrasia, which refers to acting against our best judgment. In other words, self-awareness plays a significant role in why procrastination triggers negative feelings. When we procrastinate, we're not just conscious of avoiding the task at hand, we also recognize that this avoidance is likely detrimental. Dr. Fuchsia Sorois, a psychology professor at the University of Sheffield, explains, quote, "This is why procrastination is essentially irrational. It's illogical to engage in behavior that we know will result in negative outcomes," end quote. Despite this awareness, we still choose to procrastinate. Additionally, we can relate procrastination to being an emotional response rather than a behavioral response. Procrastination is not merely a personal flaw or a challenge in time management, but rather a coping mechanism for dealing with stressors stemming from certain tasks. According to Dr. Tim Peichel, psychology professor at Carleton University, procrastination is more accurately described as an emotion regulation issue rather than a time management problem. In a 2013 study conducted by Dr. Peichel and Dr. Sorois, they found that procrastination stems from prioritizing short-term mood relief over the long-term pursuit of goals. In simpler terms, procrastination occurs when individuals prioritize managing immediate negative feelings over completing tasks. There are a few tips that we can use to overcome procrastinating behaviors. First, reflect on why we procrastinate and assess the emotions driving it, considering if they're productive or not. We can break the task down into smaller manageable pieces. We can focus on the appealing aspects beyond just the end result. We can also commit to completing the task no matter what, and choose work environments that are conducive for doing so. Additionally, be realistic about the time and effort needed to complete the task. And again, break the large tasks into smaller chunks. This will make it more likely for us to focus on progress rather than completion. Piers Steel, author of the Procrastination Equation, suggests about 95% of individuals acknowledge procrastinating. Tim Peichel, author of Solving the Procrastination Puzzle, describes procrastination as an instinctive emotional response to tasks that we dislike, where the higher the likelihood of procrastination occurs when there's a greater aversion to a task. Additionally, there are a set of procrastination triggers highlighted by Peichel that elicit almost all procrastinated behaviors. It could be boring, frustrating, difficult, or a task could provide no intrinsic reward, or it could simply just be ambiguous or unstructured. To overcome procrastination, start by taking any action to initiate the task. Tasks often seem less daunting once begun, prompting a subconscious reassessment. Chris Bailey from the Harvard Business Review asserts that, quote, "Research suggests that we remember uncompleted or interrupted tasks better than projects that we finished. It's like listening to a catchy song, only to have it unexpectedly cut off in the middle, and then have it stuck in your head the rest of the day. Starting a task means that you continue to process it, and this makes you more likely to resume the work later on," end quote. For larger, more significant tasks, list the cost of procrastination and consider its impacts on other parts of your life. All in all, procrastination stems beyond just pure laziness. It's similar to any other addictive behavior, such as smoking or drinking, and it's a reaction to stress, so we should acknowledge it as such in order to mitigate the consequences. Thank you.
Thank you for that speech, Nathan. Your speech actually reminded me of a famous quote from Dr. Martin Luther King. "It is always the right time to do the right thing." So I hope we never procrastinate in doing what is right. Seniors, come to the stage and congratulate Nathan. Everyone else, have a nice day.